A political revolt over the migration issue has left the German chancellor with the worst crisis of her political career. Angela Merkel is currently under pressure from conservative leaders to restrict migration laws, or she could soon lose power. The chancellor has been given a 2-week ultimatum to reach an agreement with European leaders on the issue. Back in 2015, Merkel took an open-door policy to take in refugees fleeing war from Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan.
We see an immigration crisis created by war that the West has created. In Europe, we see a crisis created by the wars in the Middle East, in North Africa, such as in Libya. And in the U.S., we see an immigration crisis created by the wars in Central America that the U.S. sponsored in the 1980s. And now all of a sudden the West is upset that people are leaving these countries that the West has destroyed.
Germany's migration issue is also a political hot potato within the European Union. Last week, a boat carrying more than 600 African asylum seekers was turned away from Italy. But Italy isn't alone with its wave of anti-immigration sentiment. One day after the ultimatum, Merkel met with French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday, hoping to find a joint Franco-German stance on European migration policy. After more than 2 years, the EU has failed to agree on common asylum rules.
All these countries in Europe could do so much more. I mean, when we look at the facts, it's the poor countries that are taking in the most refugees. So look at Turkey. Has taken in tens of thousands of refugees. Syria has taken in 1 million refugees just from Iraq. And these are countries that can barely, take care of these refugees. And Europe is taking proportionally a lot less refugees.
On the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, US President Donald Trump has come under fire for his immigrant detention policies after about 2,000 children were separated from their parents at the US-Mexico border.
This separation of the children from their parents is not only illegal under international law, it is immoral. Even the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the United States, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, has condemned this, has said they may have to punish people involved in the separation of children. This is an abomination, in truth. There's no reason to do this except for pure sadism.
Yet amid public outrage, Trump took time to criticize Merkel's migration policy. He tweeted, "Big mistake made all over Europe in allowing millions of people in who have so strongly and violently changed their culture." What Trump failed to mention is the military adventurism of the US and its European allies in the Middle East and North Africa that have changed millions of lives there.
The American people must realize that the immigration problem, if it's considered a problem, that we're facing is a product of the U.S. wars, particularly on Central America in the 1980s, in which tens of thousands of people were murdered by U.S.-backed death squads in Central America.
The West should own up to its destructive role in triggering what it calls the migration crisis.